Hello guys, in this video I will show you how you can create a bot or script on MT5 that helps you add a custom image to your chart's background. And this is a beginner friendly video, so you don't need to know much about programming because we will only be working with like few lines of code as you see here, so it's not something complicated. So make sure you watch this video from the beginning to the end, and if you find it helpful, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. In a scenario where you have an image you want to add to your chat background, you can see here I'm using like a Spider-Man background on my chat here. Let's say you have an image that you want to also do the same thing for. The first thing you need to do is to convert that particular image to whatever it is to BMP file. It can be, let's say you have a JPEG file or you have a PNG file. So the first thing you have to do is to convert it to a BMP file. For example, there is an image here. Let me come to download. Let me open the image. Here is this image, right? So I want to convert this. This is a JPEG file, right? So I want to convert this JPEG file to BMP. So you can just go to Google, search for converter, image converter, but I don't like using it because most of the time it doesn't work. So the best solution is for you to just, copy the image. So go to ChatGPT, paste the image, make sure you wait until it's done loading. Once it's done loading, type convert image to BMP. Once it is done converting, you can see here, just click on download the BMP image. Once the image is done downloading, you can see the name Spiderman underscore converted.bmp. Now under downloads, you see the new image that I just downloaded, which is Spiderman underscore converted. You can see that this is now a BMP file. Can you see it is now a BMP file? It has been converted from JPEG to BMP file. Now copy the file. Once you copy it, go to local. Once you go to local, click on users, then del, then app data, roaming, navigate to metacodes, go to terminal, then click on, if you have multiple MT5 on your PC, you will see different folders, but this is the particular MT5 I want to use it for. So I'm just gonna click on it, then click on MKL5, then click on images. Now in this particular place, paste the image you just copied, right? Once you are done pasting, go to your meta editor, navigate to new. Once this MQL wizard pops up, click on script. Once you click on script, click on next. In this name section, input the name for your script. So let me name this background. Sorry, this should be background wallpaper. Background wallpaper. Then also you can input your name. Then in this section you can input the link to your website or email, then click on finish. Once you click on finish, then a file for you to write your code will be created. This should be background. I wrote background. Inside this file is where we are going to start writing our code. So you can just come to this line and type string, and type string. This is where we want to store the name of the image. So you can use any identifier or any name. Let us say image underscore name, right? Then equals to, then add two double quotation marks. Inside double quotation mark, add two slash backslash, then type image uppercase I, then the rest will be lowercase. Once you type images, then add another double slash backward slash. Once you are done with that, now go back to where you pasted the image in the MKL5, in the image folder of MKL5. Now click on it, right click, then go to rename. Once you go to rename, copy the name of the image like I'm doing here. Now once you are done with that, come back to your code, paste the name of the image, then end the image with .bmp. Then after that, end the line with a semicolon. Next, come to another line, then you want to create an object to display on the chart. The image will be seen as an object, so you need to give the object a name. You can also type string, then you can say object underscore name, or you can use any words that you want. Then open to double quotation mark, you can just say chat wallpaper. You can write anything you want. Wallpaper, then end the line with a semicolon. The next thing you have to do now is to come to the onStart event handler. Inside the onStart event handler, use the object create function. Then add two parentheses. Inside the parentheses, type 0, which means the current chart. Then add a comma. Inside the comma, add the name of the object, which is the identifier here. Just type object underscore name, add another comma. Then what object you want to create, type obj underscore bitmap underscore label, then add comma 000 and end the line with a semicolon. Once you are done with that, come here again, type object set string, type 0 comma, then the name of the object, use the identifier object underscore name, type comma, then obj prop bitmap file, comma, then what is the name of the image that you want to use, then use image underscore name, which is the identifier for this variable that we declared here, and end the line with a semicolon. Once you do that, compile the code. Now you see that we have 0 errors and 0 warnings. This first line of code is used to like create the object. Now this second line of code is used to set the image that you want to use as the object. Once you are done with that, compile your code. Once you compile the code, now let's go to MT5. Under scripts, let's look for the name of the scripts, and make sure when you compile the code you have 0 errors and warnings. So now the name of the script is background wallpaper, right? So let's come here, background wallpaper, and let's run the code. You can see that when I run the code, we can see the image on our chart, right? But there is one issue here. After running the code, you can see that you can only see the image, but you cannot see the chart. So go back to your code, type object sets. We are going to use the function object set integer, open a parenthesis, press input 0, then the name of the object, which is object underscore name, right? Add a comma. Then what do you want to do? Object is going to be obj prop underscore background back, comma, then type this should be true, which means the image you want to add should be, what this line of code is doing is that the image you just added, the object name, the object you just added should be behind the chart. So if I compile the code, you can see that right now the image is covering the chart, right? So let me run the code again. If I run it, can you see the image is now behind the candlesticks instead of above the candlestick that it was before. But one issue with this image is that it is not properly showing on our chart. We are only just seeing like a small part of the image. We are not seeing like the major part. Let's say you want to see the main part of the chart, which is like the middle. So is it that you can move the image right, and you can also move it left, you can move it up or down. So in a case like this, to move it horizontally, that's what we refer to as X, and to move it vertically, which means up, it means that's what we refer to as Y. So now to do any of this, let's say we want to move this image, we want to move it to the right, we want to move it to the left, we want this particular Spider-Man to be showing at the middle, right? So this is what you are going to do. You are going to use the object set integer function. Then you are going to type 0, which is like the chart ID, then object name, add a comma. Then what do you want to adjust? I want to adjust the obj prop underscore. This should be object set integer, not double. Integer. So object prop underscore um x distance, so which means you want to move x, right? I said x is horizontal. Let's say I want to move x to this side, right? Let's say I want to move it by 100, right? Let me add a comma, compile, which means horizontal. I want to move it to the other side. So let me run the code. You can see it has moved to this side, right? So if I want to increase the moving, I can say I want to move it by 200, compile. So I compile and run the code to keep moving. So if I want to move it in the opposite direction, I can say negative 200. So if I run the script now, can you see this is now starting to get to the middle? You can keep moving it to the left. So if you want to move it to the left, it means it is going to, whatever you want to move it with, we start from negative. And if you want to move it to the right, it means it is going to start from positive, which means you don't need to use any sign. So let me move it by 250, compile the code, come here, click and drag. Can you see it is like moving? So let me increase it to 350, compile and run the code. Can you see now we are starting to place the image exactly at the middle? So if you want to move it up or down, you're just going to do almost the same thing. But this time around it will be y distance. You know, I said the vertical distance is y. If you want to move it up, you can, let's say, minus 350 and run the code. Can you see it has moved up? So if you want to move it back down, you can just, return it to 0. You don't want to move it at all. I'll just say compile, come here, click and drag. It is back to the normal position. So basically that is how to, add a customized background to your MT5 chart. So if you find this video helpful, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you have any video you want me to make, drop a comment in the comment section. Bye for now.